So, did one of those little carousel things that says carcinogens in cancer. And Katrina is my new online assistant, and she's awesome. But I went through there and we decided to do a video on carcinogens. And here's the thing. It's easy to say, oh yeah, carcinogens cause cancer. Well, literally the word carcinogen, like they're describing things that lead to mutations of cells. But here's the reason why I say, do carcinogens really cause cancer? Because what I actually think is real is pretty much a gazillion other things that are not classified as carcinogens actually cause cancer. So there's all kinds of stuff that you're doing right now that cause cancer. And by the way, you already have cancer. So every single day, you and me, we have about 10,000 cancer cells, and our body kills them and starts over again. So let me jump into what is the answer to your cancer. Maybe I should retitle the video. But don't forget about October 14th. If you've already signed up and didn't get an email, we fixed that. We're going to be sending you an email this week. But October 14th, Saturday morning, we're doing a breast cancer seminar. It's called TITS, which is Truth in Testimony and Simplicity. Don't get mad at me for the name, but you're going to love the seminar. There'll be a link in here, and there's a link in the bio. Check out the page, get signed up, either be in person or watch live. Here we go. Here's what cancer really is. And this is important to understand. Every healthy cell in your body has a life cycle. And that healthy cell that has a life cycle, it's on average 120 days, right? Some of them are a couple days, some of them are way longer than that. On average, 120 days, the cell's supposed to die. Now, if you have a cell that is in a healthy environment, then that cell operates like it's supposed to. And cells in your body, yes, cells in your body need oxygen. They need nerve supply. They need water. They need a pretty like even as far as pH, 7.2, 7.3. And they don't live on sugar. They live on other nutrients, right? They can use sugar. But what happens when you give a cell way too much sugar is you start to make it rely on sugar. When you don't give the cell enough oxygen because you never work out, the cell starts to be deprived of oxygen, and then if you don't have enough nerve supply because you have subluxation in your spine, you have interference in your nervous system, and you drink soda all the time or drink coffee all the time or whatever it is that makes an acidic environment, then once you've created an environment in which the cells can't live, the cell has two choices: die or adapt. And if you're talking about hundreds of millions and billions of cells at the same time, your stomach, for example, it won't just up and die. It's not going to do that. There's a survival mechanism. It's called innate. Your body's trying to always stay alive and try to heal. So instead of just dying, it has to modify how it works in the existing environment. And so what it does is it goes, okay, that's it. I'm going to start using just sugar for fuel because that's all they're giving me. You know what? I don't need no stinking oxygen. I'll just change. I don't need nerve supply. You know what? I like acidity, or I like a really basic environment. Once your cell changes and it no longer follows order, it no longer is a part of like the plan, it doesn't die. Once it goes off the reservation, it doesn't die. And so here's what cancer really is. Cancer is cells that don't die. Now, when you have a cell that's sick, doesn't die, operating by different rules, and then it goes like this, and it makes another one, and then those ones do that, and they keep making other ones, well, guess what? The cancer cells continue to grow and get bigger. And if you never change the environment, well, then it just keeps on having to adapt to live in the same sick environment until finally you get a cancer diagnosis. So listen, nobody in the world has ever gotten sick because they got cancer. You got cancer because you were sick. You got cancer because you had tons of cells that were super sick and had to adapt. Also, pretty much nobody dies of cancer. People die of organ failure because the cancer gets so big or so bad. People die of malfunction in their body because the cancer cells are taking up all the space of the regular cells, but you don't just up and die of cancer. You usually die of the organ failure or something shutting down, or you die from medicine because the doctors scare you into killing you with their chemo, their radiation, and cutting you to pieces. Anyway, so yes, I saw someone talk about glutathione. Glutathione works because glutathione is an antioxidant. Antioxidants help to fix cell damage. Vitamin D works because vitamin D triggers what's called gene P53. Gene P53 is what's in charge of what's called cell apoptosis, or going, hey, cell, die, time to die. Remember, the problem is when cells do not die. That's cancer. So is a carcinogen just burnt meat? Is it just cigarette smoke? Is it just the idiots that are smoking vape thinking that like smoking propylene glycol antifreeze is not going to catch up to you? Yes, it's all of that. But it's also the aluminum you put in your deodorant and the antiperspirant, another video. But it's also just the crappy food you eat. It's the Coke, it's the coffee, it's all the stuff. It's not just one thing, it's everything. And you have to turn a path from the majority of it to create the healthy environment so the cell has one choice. And that one choice is to turn back into a healthy cell or die. That's how you beat cancer. Anyway, join me on October 14th, Saturday morning. You can get a ticket live. Please come to the event. If you're anywhere close to Boise, if you can drive in, fly in, come to my seminar. I guarantee you're going to have a freaking blast. It's going to be worth the time, the drive, the travel. But if you really can't, like if you're coming from Ireland, London, or UK, or wherever you're at, Indiana, then get a virtual ticket. There's only 100 virtual tickets at this point, so please grab one of those. The link is in the bio, and I'll stick it down there in the little description thing, even though you can't click on it, so I'd go to the bio. I'll see you around.